In this live self-defense training video, we're going to talk about the Kubotan keychain, 5 simple moves using a Yawara palm stick, or the Kubotan keychain, which is based on just a basic palm stick. You'll see palm sticks in several different styles of martial arts. The Japanese word is Yawara. These are really common. And basically all these do is give you a tighter fist, a stronger fist, a kind of a loaded weight in your hand. It keeps your fingers from going in. It's like holding a roll of quarters. And the 5 basic moves are based on this principle of having a nice tight grip, having something in your hand, allowing you to strike harder, and then also using the tip that's going to pop out on either side of your hand to strike with. Hello, Strolling Shubham, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. We're talking about the Kubotan or the Yawara palm stick. Now, the reason I wanted to do this today is I had an experience yesterday. I took my kids on a train, and when we got on the train, and I researched before we went because I didn't want anything left there. I was not allowed to bring any self-defense device that I might carry from time to time that I might be allowed to carry most places. Hello, Matthew. I couldn't bring one of these, and I could not bring a blade, any kind of blade. And the reason that I thought I might want to do that, hello, Alita, it's good to see you, is we were going to a part of town. We're going to get on the train in our nice little suburb, little area downtown. It's real nice and fancy, very clean. And we're going to go into another part of the state in a big city that has a lot of crime happening right now because of the pandemic of, I shouldn't use that word, but that's basically what it is. The epidemic of all the drug use, right? There's so much open air drug use everywhere in this particular area. So when we got off this train, I knew I would have to walk my kids from the train to the little kids museum, science museum. It's literally, you can see it from the train thing. But when we got on, and the last time we went there was pre what happened a few years ago, and it wasn't that bad. It was a nice neighborhood. I remember we had lunch there at a nice little restaurant that we walked to from the train station. Then we went to the museum. But yesterday when we got there, we got off and it looked like a third world nation. And it angers me, it makes me extremely mad thinking of all the reasons why this has happened. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that there I am with my kids, and I have the skill and the knowledge to defend myself using certain self-defense tools that I've trained with since I've been in the military. Either one of these or one of these slashing things. I can't have that with me because we rode the train there, and you can't take it onto the train. They have security. It's public transportation. So what I did do was I brought one of these, and I had this attached to my keys. I took it off for this video. This is just a Kubotan keychain. And the other option that I thought about bringing, but I didn't, would have been my walking cane, which I could have taken also. But I didn't have that. I did have this. And then we crossed the gauntlet through all of the little, just people passed out on the street. There was even an incident where I had to call 911 for a guy who couldn't get up, and someone else, one of the other guys who was with him, doing the same kinds of things. He was trying to get him off the ground. They asked me, please call for help. And then when I started to describe to the dispatcher what I saw and I knew what I was seeing, then they got up and they walked away because they didn't want to have to go and be held accountable for the action and behavior. But his whole, he was a mess. He had either been smashed in the head or had fallen to the concrete when he passed out from the things that he was taking. And no shirt, just blood everywhere, all cracked open. You don't want your kids to see that, but unfortunately they did. But the point is that when we had to cross back and walk back to the train station, it was later in the day, and the numbers was like the zombies had come out. And it really does look like a zombie apocalypse with all of this homelessness. And it's not homelessness, it's addicts, it's drug use. And that's what really makes me the maddest, because I have so much compassion for the homeless and compassion for people who are struggling for whatever reason. But at the same time, when you have your kids with you, and it's a safety issue, because some of them will do whatever they need to do to get another fix, then I have to protect my family. And my family comes before my compassion for anybody else who is making a decision to hurt themselves. Anyway, so as I'm walking, I'm thinking, because there's no way to get around it. What do you do if someone comes up to you? And I know some of you, this is your reality. You have to live in these neighborhoods where this rampant drug use is creating a lot of unsafe conditions for you and your family. So if you have a simple palm stick or the Kubotan keychain. I put links below if you want to see what they cost. They're extremely inexpensive. I wanted to give you 5 basic strikes. This is what I would use. This is what I train my staff. This is what I train all my students with. And this is what I advocate, keeping it simple. Simple is best. So with a nice tight grip, and I train with both hands, right? I'm ambidextrous when it comes to self-defense. I can hit hard with my right, hit hard with my left. I right with my left, I throw with my right. But the first kind of strike that I want you to think about doing is just a simple punch. When your hand is holding this and squeezing it very tightly and you strike, this weight that's in your hand is going to do a lot more damage than you could do with your own punch, your own fist. So the first one is just a simple straight punch. And the faster you get there, the better. And you're going to aim just straight ahead. You're not going to wait. You don't hesitate. So the first of the 5 strikes, the Uwara or your Kubotan keychain, is just a simple punch straight to the face. Now, I'm not advocating violence. This is when you don't have a choice and you have to defend yourself, and it's either you or them. Either they're trying to take away your life, your dignity, your freedom, or trying to hurt one of your family members. And when you have little ones with you, like I had yesterday, you have to really think about how do you end it as fast as possible, especially if there's more than one. And there were situations where we crossed through groups, and there were groups of people. And again, I have nothing but empathy and compassion. If I'm there by myself, and I probably would have reacted and responded in a different way. But when you got kids and you've got to go there and you got to go through it, and this is my compassion for you, because you might be living in a situation where you don't have a choice. And that's right, family first. So my family comes first, and the first thing I would do is just straight, hard, and fast, and going to try to end the fight as fast as possible, knocking out. A lot of people don't understand if they don't you fight all the time. A lot of criminals or opportunists, they might not have a lot of fighting skill, but they know that they intimidate people and that they can hurt people, and they might have things on them that they can pull out and hurt you with. And one of the real issues that I think about is what kind of drugs they have on them that you might touch, which would put you in cardiac arrest. Like we keep seeing stories about the fentanyl, and the first responders touch it and then they go into cardiac arrest. So I don't want to touch them. I don't want to spend any time negotiating or wrestling, or the faster the better, right? So the first motion that I want you to think about is a punch. And there are 2 places that you're going to aim. One is straight to the nose, and just smash everything as hard and as fast as you can. Just a quick explosive punch, either front hand or backhand, with your hand squeezing tightly around this, or number 2, going into the solar plexus and knocking his wind out. So you can either come here, you can come here. This is a great front hand punch. This is a great backhand punch. Either way though, you can hit in any strike. The second motion is going to be a swinging motion, and you're going to swing it from outside to inside. And this is where you're using the ends of your Kubotan or your Uwara, and I better do it with this one so I don't puncture my bag. So I'm going to hold it here, and I just use all of my twisting of my upper body, and I'm bringing it in, and you're aiming for the jaw right here or right into the temple, even into the neck. You can hit one of those spots and you can cause someone to drop, knock them out very quickly. And you would hit more than one time, or you can bring it into the ribs. Into the ribs, that would cause them not to be able to breathe, because it's such a small point and it's hard and you're swinging with your whole body. You can do a lot of damage in there. So either here or here. The next one is the reverse of that, which is pulling away and swinging back in. And again, not just your arm, but your whole upper body. When you need knockout power, you need twisting of the shoulders and hips, extending the arm, and then when you step into it, you create even more damage. So I could strike here, bringing it in. Number 3, bringing it back in that motion. The 4th one is another swing, but this position, it's even stronger, and it's coming straight up. And your goal is to hit anywhere between the belly button and the privates. And you're bringing it up here, and you're striking as hard as you can, or if you need to, up into the throat. That can be a fatal strike, so that's only for self-defense. These are all for self-defense only. That's number 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is down on top, and either sticking that right into the bridge of his nose, separating his nose. All the blood comes out, the mucus, the tears, he can't breathe, can't catch his breath. Bring it down. If he's taller, you can bring that down right into the throat. Again, that's a fatal strike. So only for self-defense. Like I said, all these are self-defense only, or even into the upper part of his chest. So 5 simple strikes, and you can practice these in combination. You don't necessarily have to do them in the same order. You can mix it up. You can make it a workout. Make sure you get all 5 strikes. A punching strike, swinging from the outside to the inside, from the inside to the outside, coming down over the top, coming from the bottom, up and in, and again, in any combination. And you can just pick up if you have one of these already, I know you've been asking me, I need a workout for the Kubotan. What do I do with the Kubotan? I want to go to the Kubotan, practice swinging. 1, 2. This is one of my favorite boxing combinations. It's a jab hook with the same hand coming to the front because it catches so many people off guard. They're used to the backhand coming. You can hit somebody hard that way. 1, 2, 1, same thing. And then bring it back the other way. And then down on top and then up. In any way you want to do it. Front hand, backhand. Mixing up combinations, put one in each hand and go to town. But this is something simple. This went right through the x-ray machine, no questions. And this will I've had these taken away at airports in the past, so I don't know, I wouldn't recommend bringing them with your keys if you're going on a trip on a plane. You'll probably lose it. But on other forms of transportation where it's, like a train or a bus, usually no one really cares too much. Most people don't really know what it is. It just looks like a stick with your keys on it, which is what it is. And if your keys are still on it, that's great, because those keys can rake and cut and slice and distract and take their eyes out and all that for self-defense. So that's 5 simple moves, and keep it simple. When you need to defend yourself, keep it simple. Now, I did one more thing, and this is just a personal revelation with this situation. After we got out of there, we got back on the train and everybody was safe and no one touched my kids, no one came close to us. And they were starting to approach, and I know how to give off an energy that says back up, don't come any closer. Because some people will come up and they'll distract and they'll do whatever because they want something from you. And you don't have to apologize. Hey, I'm sorry, I don't have anything to give you. You don't have to apologize for anything, you just say back up. But once I got there to the train station, said a little prayer for all the people. And I'm like, when I say there were 100 to 150 of these people, just all because you were in the train station, you sit high, you look out of the windows, and they were lining street after street after street. And I say that because it's an increasing problem. It's getting worse, it's not getting better yet. And it will get better. Things go in cycles, we'll get better, hopefully. But for right now, that's what you have to do. You have to be able to keep everything in perspective. Where are you right now? Right now, you need to keep yourself safe. Later, I always say a little prayer. The question was, is this solid or is there a hole in the middle? This is solid aluminum. It's not super heavy, but it's heavy enough. And when you squeeze it, it's not going anywhere. And when you strike, you're gonna hit really hard. This too this is solid oak. And it's just a simple thing. This is something you can make yourself, right? If you're a little bit handy, get yourself a dowel rod, cut it down, and you cut it, and you wanna make it, this one I think is about 6, my fist is about 6 inches wide, so that's probably about 7 or 8 inches. So just something simple like that. The links are below if you wanna go and see what the dimensions of these are. And there are different ways that they make them. There's no right way or wrong way, make your own. But same thing with a keychain. You can take a little stick, drill a hole in it. And if you don't have this, you can carry a marker in your hand. I love the self-defense pins. I put a link to a self-defense pin. I normally carry that in my bag, but I didn't carry any bags yesterday. We were traveling light. But keep it super simple. Aaron says, found himself in a situation, happened so fast, multiple options, different part of the body is important. Yes, and thank you for bringing that up, Aaron, because the dimension, these are like 6 to 8 inches long. Aaron's point is, you have to, when you have multiple places you can strike, you have to ask yourself that question, what can you remove or destroy? And that comes from Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. Look that book up. I think I put a link below. If not, I'll go back and put one in. Yeah, 5 inch long, a 1/2 inch thick. Thank you. So super simple, keep it simple, keep your self-defense strikes basic, straight, swinging. Anytime you swing, make sure you're getting your whole body in, squeeze everything tight, practice it when you can so that you can use it when you need to. There's a saying in the military that you drink water and you eat and you refill your ammunition when you can, not when you have to. When you have to, you might not be able to because you're under fire, you're taking fire, you're in the middle of a battle. So you do it when you can, not when you need to. Self-defense should be the same thing for you. Train when you can, practice the techniques when you can, develop your speed, your power, your balance, your coordination, your aiming. Practice it when you can so when you need it, it's there and you're not learning on the job. That's the worst way to do it. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. I'll see you in a little bit.